Hey guys, how we doing? Welcome to Walking Boxing. It is Saturday, October the 12th, 2024, and we are about 24 hours away from one of the most anticipated fights of the year after Beterbiev and Bivol for all the belts at 175, coming to you from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and looks like it is all systems go. We'll run through the weights here in a second, get some predictions and some broadcast times more importantly. And looks like the order of the card has changed, but we'll go through that as we go. So let's start with the first fight on the bill. Actually, before we get into this card, just an update on the Tszyu Murtazalyov situation. Now it looks like we do have a fight. It has been confirmed that the fight will go ahead in Orlando, Florida next weekend, which is great news. It has been hard to get information. If I'm being honest, it's been probably a little bit disappointing in the organisers, No Limit, PBC. We haven't been able to get much information at all about what's going on. Now I know no news is good news, that's great, but yeah, we haven't, I would have thought we would have had daily updates for, obviously there's a lot of interest in the fight, maybe a lot of people going over there, people like me that want news to discuss with you guys of a morning. But yeah, I just found it a little bit strange that the announcement has actually come from Main Event, the broadcasters here in Australia, who have said that it has been confirmed it will go ahead. That was yesterday afternoon, I think it was. But nothing from PBC and No Limit. Now, I know George Rose has done the odd interview here or there and a few comments, but I would have thought they would have had daily updates just to say, hey, today's update is there's no update. It is fight going ahead as planned. Next day, all right, we're monitoring it, whatever it might be, but just something each day, because that's everyone's sitting around sort of scratching their heads and sitting on their hands wondering what's happening. But that is the news at this stage, that the fight will go ahead, which I'm sure will be a massive relief to all concerned. The organiser would have lost a fair bit of money if they had to move the event, so really good that it is going. So that's next Sunday morning. It's about 11 o'clock. The card starts from Orlando, Florida. All right, and again, if that does change, we'll give you some updates. Just actually on that as well, next Thursday night here in Australia, we're doing a live preview show of Tszyu versus Bakram Murtazalyov, and we'll probably have a couple of guests on there as well, and we'll discuss the fight and who wins and why, but I'll give out a bit more information on that early in the week. So let's get on to this card. So the main event, of course, Beterbiev and Bivol, we'll get to that in a sec, but the rest of the card to kick off the event, Ben Whitaker and Liam Cameron both weighed 174.9 or 79.79 kilograms. Now, excuse me. Now you would expect Ben Whitaker to win this fight quite comfortably. If you don't know him, he's a UK Olympian. Very, very impressive. He's got a very fan-friendly style. Very entertaining. Got a good personality. And I know excuse me, the voice is starting to crack a bit today. Sorry about that. Right into the microphone there. Sorry about that. Yeah, you would expect Ben Whitaker to win that fight. They've obviously got big plans for him, and you would expect him to take care of Liam Cameron. Look, he's a solid guy, but you can see it's definitely a resume builder for Ben Whitaker. So again, you would expect him to kick off the card. That's a 10-rounder, by the way, at 175. So Ben Whitaker for that. Then we get into the females, and Skye Nicolson defends her WBC featherweight belt against the UK's Raven Chapman. Now, both girls weighed 125.9 or 57.11 kilograms. Now, it's interesting, I did hear Skye at the press conference the other day actually mention that in her opinion, apart from the main event, this was probably the most anticipated fight on the card. Look, I might be wrong. I probably don't see it that way. I think it's great that Skye has really adapted to the world boxing scene and has put some comments in like that to maybe get a reaction. And look, it's great. Talk up women's boxing, obviously talk up this particular fight. But the fact that it's a third fight on a 7-fight card probably doesn't probably doesn't back that up, but either way, as I said, I really like the fact she's really trying to get a lot of interest in this fight. For the fight itself, look, I think Skye Nicolson wins the fight in my opinion. I think, look, Skye has said that she's looking to be pound for pound. She wants to be the face of women's boxing, putting out the challenge to opponents to solve, what is it, the Skye Nicolson puzzle or whatever it might be, and that's great. I welcome that. As I said, she's really adapting to that level of world boxing. But I think I wouldn't mind just seeing her in this fight, and I know it goes against the grain of everything they're trying to do. Maybe just sit down a little bit on her punches and maybe trade a little bit more with someone like Raven Chapman. I understand, I get it, that it's all about winning the fight, and if you've got to move and jab and hold and clinch and do whatever you've got to do to win the fight, I get it. I understand it's about winning these fights and not necessarily about pleasing the fans. But I think in her case, if she really wants to be accepted as an elite pound for pound female fighter and maybe get that fight with Amanda Serrano, I just wouldn't, well, I would expect that she might need to just tweak her style a little bit to become a little bit more fan friendly, because I hate to say it, but all the boxing fans I know, whether it be here or overseas, they don't have a lot of complimentary things to say about Skye's style. They won't watch her fight. So I think if she wants to probably be, to take that next step and get the Serrano fight and maybe be recognised more as one of the pound for pound elites, I think she's going to have to just tweak her style, as I said, a little bit, and make some adjustments, and hopefully coincide that with not giving up too much of her natural style, which has been very, very effective so far. So let's see what happens there. She did actually say that she is looking to have a homecoming fight here in Australia as well, probably on a card with Liam Paro. Got another little fella coming there. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. We'll just get past there. Have a good one, mate. Come here, buddy. That's the dangers, of course, in the morning when you're out walking, coming across other dogs. It's all good, they're on a lead, that's the main thing. But yeah, she did say that she's looking to fight here in Australia. I think it would have to be on a Liam Paro event. I'm not quite sure she could carry a big event here in Australia by herself. I think it would have to be with Liam, maybe up north. How you doing? Up north in far north Queensland. A few people out and about today, I will say. It's good. A little bit later in the morning, so a few out and about. Come here, ma'am. But yeah, so I think it's great news. I think she did say she's been on to Eddie Hearn for quite some time to get her a fight here in Australia, but obviously there's probably not the money and the interest here for her. But again, if they get her on that Liam Paro event, I'm sure that it could happen. All right, on to the next fight. We have Chris Eubank Jr. up against Kamil Zera. Now, I don't know much about Zera. I did look a little bit on YouTube the other day and see what he had. Not a lot, if I'm being honest. Both guys, by the way, weighed 159.12. Yeah, I think this is a fight that Chris Eubank will win. They've obviously got him lined up to fight Canelo for next year, so you would think that this is just a keep busy fight. He's always been one of those fighters, if I'm going to say that, he's just never really got going in the sport, has he? Whenever he's been on the verge of something big, he's lost a big fight. Very inactive. He has some good fights, he has some bad fights, but really has struggled to get his career going. He's in his 30s now, well and truly, so I'm not quite sure what happens to him if he doesn't at the Canelo fight. Where does he go? So, but again, I would think he would win this fight comfortably with that Canelo fight on the horizon next year. Then we go to probably the fight I'm most looking forward to apart from the main event, and that is Jai Opetaia and Jack Massey. So Jai, we'll just get past another dog up here. So, how you doing? Come here, buddy. Come on. He just digs his heels in. Well, it's entertaining this morning anyway, with so many dogs and people around. We're going probably about an hour later than what we normally do. All right, so we have, Jaya weighed 198.9, which is 90.22 kilograms. Jack Massey 199.12, which is 90.32. This, of course, is for the IBF Cruiserweight title. Now, I'm expecting Jaya Opetaia to put on a very, very good performance in this fight. I think Jack Massey is really suited to him. I think his style will suit Jai, and I think he'll give him an opportunity to really do his thing. G'day, mate, how you doing? I think unlike his last fight with Marius Briedis, who was tough in that as well, I don't think Massey's anywhere near that level. I don't think you're going to see Massey do what Briedis did and maybe hurt Jai late and maybe rally late. I think Jai wins a clear-cut 12-round decision. I think he's even capable of stopping Jack Massey late, probably not with a knockout or anything like that, but just accumulation of punches. Jai, I just get the feeling there was a few doubts after the Briedis fight whether he was actually at the level and could cope with someone coming at him like Briedis did. I think people forget how good a fighter Briedis was, by the way. But again, I expect Jack Massey. This is very frustrating here this morning because Neil's been very, very stubborn. All right, so I think, yeah, as I said, Jai Opetaia wins that. This is pretty scrappy here, I know. Sorry, guys, but I'm doing the best I can. There's dogs and people and cars and everything going on around here. All right, then we get into the heavyweights, the rematch, which is, again, a really, really good fight. Fabio Wardley, 241.6 pounds. He's up against Fraser Clark, 271.3 pounds for the British heavyweight title. Now, the first fight was an excellent fight. I'm expecting this one to be the same, but I'm going to go with Wardley, I think. I think he gets the job done. Call it just a gut feel. The first fight was that close, and this could go either way, but I'm going to stick with Wardley in a split decision. There you go. Oh, I got no idea because it was so even the first fight, but I'm going to go with Fabio Wardley to win that. And then we get into the main event. Artur Beterbiev, who weighed 174.9 or 79.79 kilograms. He's in, of course, with Bivol, who weighed 174.12 or 79.43 for the undisputed light heavyweight title. So, look, this is probably about as 50-50 as you could possibly get. And I liked, actually, yesterday, I saw a bit of a, well, I suppose you'd call it a meme by our old mate D-Style Boxing in the States, and he put up a post of the two Terminators from the first and second films, and that really sums this up so well. And I saw it and thought that is perfect. It was, if you didn't see it, it was sort of describing Beterbiev as the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator in the first movie. Just that really raw, hardcore, you know, just tough guy, you know. So that was the way he sort of labelled him. And then for Bivol, it was the Terminator 2 more sleek style. Still a Terminator, but just a different type of one, a little bit more proficient, and as I said, slick than the original one. So I thought it, yeah, just as I said, summed it up perfectly. And look, I think what will happen in the fight, I think that you would think, obviously, that Beterbiev will just come forward. I don't think the meniscus problem he had earlier in the injury will play a big part because of his style, straight ahead style. I think if he was a boxer and mover, it might be a lot bigger consideration, I suppose. But as I said, the fact that he's more that straight ahead style, I don't think it'll affect him too much. I think Bivol will obviously box and move. I don't think he'll be as, what's the best word? I was going to say passive, but he's not a passive fighter at all. I don't think you'll see him box and move probably as much as maybe we think he will. These guys have done a lot of rounds together in the gym as well before this fight, during their career. So I think that they know each other well enough. I don't think Bivol will run. I really don't. I think he'll know enough about Beterbiev where he'll feel comfortable at certain stages to probably trade with Beterbiev. Beterbiev, though, is very, very confident, which probably poses the question of, did he get the better of those sessions in the gym? Because I think he did say the other day something about ask him with a wink. He said when he was asked a question about what he was going to do with Bivol or something, and there was a question anyway, I can't remember what it was, but it sort of gave the impression that he knew from sparring with Bivol so many times what to expect in certain situations. Now I think Bivol's probably improved a lot since then. Who knows the last time they sparred? It could have been 10 years ago. You don't know what can happen in that time, but I would expect Beterbiev to come out as he always does, aggressive, looking to corner Bivol and really go to work with those heavy punches to the head and body. Bivol on the move, not, as I said, not running, but just giving him angles, not sitting on the ropes, not sitting in the corners, giving volume punches, a little bit like he did with Canelo. When Beterbiev is maybe in between punches, that Bivol then punches in volume. So there's a lot going on in this fight, and I think strategy is going to be a big factor. But look, again, it's a 50-50 fight. I suppose we've got to pick someone. I'm going to go with Bivol in a close, very, very close decision. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Beterbiev wins, but maybe steamrolls Bivol, who knows? It's just that type of fight, but we've got to pick someone, and I just think Bivol will outbox Beterbiev in what will be, look, I'm not going to say it's going to be fight of the year, Stan. Sometimes these fights don't necessarily measure up, just because we've got two elite fighters who aren't in there just to give us a haggle of herns every single time. Even though they both can punch, they're both hard guys, they've both got so much technique and ability and ring IQ, so who knows, it might not be that brawl that we think it might be. I just think it's going to be a technical fight, both looking to fight to the strengths, but I just think Bivol, for me, at just the age of Beterbiev as well, is pushing 40 years old. I just think, for me, Bivol gets the job done in a close decision. Just on the schedule, now this is, I'll just bring it up here, if I could find it. All right. There it is. All right, so the running time. So the schedule has changed, which is good for us here in Australia. If you're just looking to watch Jai onwards. All right, so the times, if I can see it. All right, so the main event looks like it will be on, so it's 11:15 UK time. Now I think that is, where was it? Actually, I think I'll be getting out my telecast or broadcast live stream will be on from 6 a.m, but I think Jai is on at 7 a.m. Australian time. So Skye Nicolson will be 5 a.m, Chris Eubank 6, Jai Opetaia and Massey 7, Wardley Clark on at 8, and then at 11:15 will be Beterbiev and Bivol in the morning. So sorry, 7:15 will be, no, sorry, 9:15. I'll go back through that again. Jai Opetaia will be on at 7 a.m, Wardley Clark at 8 a.m, and Beterbiev and Bivol at 9:15 a.m. So I hope I got that right. So again, my live stream will kick off at 6 a.m, and yeah, so there will be no walking boxing tomorrow, by the way, because I'll be probably stuck in front of the TV till 11 or 12 o'clock, whatever it might be. Will it be that long? But who knows? But either way, there'll be no talking boxing. We might do a review afterwards and talk about everything that's happened. But guys, that is it for today. Sorry about the chaos with the walk. Lots of things going on. This probably serves me right for going a little bit later today, but that's what you get on a nice sunny Saturday mid-morning. So guys, have a great day. Look forward to talking about the fight with you in the next episode, and we'll catch you then.